Welcome to an unboxing I've been waiting for a long time. I am here with a very, very cool game. You guys have seen it on the thumbnail and title, obviously, but this is like an old school style JRPG. The art style looks on point. The gameplay seems interesting. It's from an indie studio. It's everything I love about crowdfunded board games. Excited to dig into this one. Alright, so as I open this up, and I just opened it up to see what it is, I have not opened anything else. I have to give a shout out to my daughter who's here helping me. As she puts it, she is my trash man. So she will handle the giant mess that I often make unboxing these games. You know, if there's anything that would ever make you feel like like you've maybe done something not so great for the world, board games can kind of be it, because there's often a lot of trays, and it's just a physical product that's made and manufactured, but then to ship it out everywhere and stuff, you need a lot of this kind of stuff to get away with. Thank you, Mr. Trashman. And this is fun. So this is Encountered Shattered Wastes, and I love the full art that we have here for this edition. That is so much fun, just because it's not necessarily, though I would pick this up on a game shelf, but a lot of games, when they are for retail, they want to make sure, oh, you have the name there and stuff like that. In other words, you want to entice the person to pick it up, and then on the back, you want to tell them all about the game and show them the game and all this. But guess what? Everybody who crowdfunded this knows what the game is. You don't need to actually have a retail-oriented box, and I love it when that happens. So this is just straight on the actual, lore of it, and that's it. Fantastic. Super awesome. All right, let's go ahead. You can see the slight inward here, so it's wrapped quite tight, but that's fine. We'll just cut here. Cut here. These are often the easiest to open. Maybe. I say that and then I struggle. But I would struggle unboxing anything. You'd think after all this time I'd be better at it. There we go. There we go. Here you go, trash man. Okay. And as you can see, there is a little bit of UV shininess there. Just for the guy. Again, looks great. It is just the guy. It's not even like the effect around him. So it looks great. It doesn't look like a sticker or anything like that. And let's open. Also, the fact that this is all it is. Like, that's fantastic. This, by the way, should be, I believe, the acrylic portion of it. Because this does use, like, standees. Which is great because of the art. It really helps sell it. And you can kind of lose that depending on the style. When it comes to the miniatures, I often feel that way with Awakened Realms. I think their art is often super fantastic, or the AI does a really good job on it. Either way, like it looks really pretty, and then you get the menu. Like, how do you even do that? So this is the company that makes them. I showed these off in a news video before. I've actually gotten more stuff from them. CurledPawCreative.com. They sell like paint racks that you put on your wall that are super good. They support like Citadel and Vallejo and P3 and all of them. Like, it's really, really good. You can customize it. Definitely worth it. And you can see the acrylics and these in here. So we'll get those in a bit. Seriously though, like mad props to them. They do a great job, and they make sure that you're satisfied too. If you mess up on the order, or if you mess up on the installation, something like that, they'll send you like what you need to finish it. So that's super awesome. Okay, opens up great. Look at the inside of that. More board games need to do that. Look at that. Forget the black. Forget the non-black regular cardboard. Do this. That is cool. What do you think, Trashman? Trashman gives me a thumbs up. All right, my daughter approves. That is cool. That is awesome. I love the purple on that too. Okay, and then again, created by this. Now, one thing I don't like is big floppy rule books like this. Like, I understand it helps the packaging, but it is kind of a bummer. This is by Ryan Farmer, and the company is like Farmer something Games. What is it? Hold on, wait. Named after him, but it sounds like a Farmer Creative LLC. All right. Anyway, art looks great. Again, I would prefer it like this and have it thicker than full like this, because I feel, for one, it takes up a lot more space on the table when you have it laid out, and maybe it needs to be. I don't know, but I typically prefer this not to be so big. And then when you're reading it, it can be hard. That being said, this is not the rulebook. This is the journey mode book. So this might be, though it looks like all of them are like that, but you have the journey tracker here on the back. Hopefully they offer some PDFs. I don't like to have to scan something when they have the file anyway and can just offer PDF. So feel free to check that out. Maybe somebody's linked to it or they can. If it is on there, leave a comment down below for other people to be able to find it easily. But they have Journey Mode Plus. They have all these different encounters that you're going through. You have your Artith Magician, your Monk, your Sea, your Aeromancer, your Ronin, your Siren, your Slayer, and your Lancer, which is super cool. Again, these are like the job traits that you get in like Final Fantasy Tactics or the old style Final Fantasies where you had White Mage and Black Mage and Red Mage and Blue Mage and all the mages. That's what that is. Enemy setup encounter. So this is a little bit of rules, and again, this is kind of big, but I think this might be fine if you're actually using this. I'm okay with that, but. Yeah, either way, the color is great. The print quality looks good. This is attached by 2 staples, but it seems to be fine. The paper thickness is okay. Edge to edge, everything looks good. Easy to read. I really like the call out boxes. And again, they upped the contrast here, so nothing super hard. Maybe this is probably about as much as you get as the dark black on a darker green. But I'm not seeing a lot of that, so that's actually kind of rare to see that by the looks of it. Very cool. And again, art looks fantastic. All right, next up, I think this might be the rulebook. It's definitely thicker. Here's a reference guide in the back. And again, look at all the white space here. This could have been this big, like a normal rulebook width. It still would have fit everything fine. I would have preferred this over a big... I do not like these. Personal preference, of course, but it's just a little bit more unwieldy to open, to move. Like, it takes up more space. If I'm going to keep this on the table to help, the moment I open this up, it takes up like half my table. Right? Like, it's big here. Oh, look at this. I love QR codes. So what does this one do? It's recommended that if you're playing Encounter Shattered Wastes for the first time, watch the walkthrough video. To access video, scan the QR code. Very nice. Love QR codes. And in these books and stuff, it can often really help. I've even seen it where it goes directly to a how to play, the section of the video that shows the rules. This is super cool. So if you want to quickly, scan that to like watch the section you need, it's great when they can manage to combine the rule book with it should be like an actual published how to play that matches perfectly with the sections and stuff, so that you can watch or read and reference accordingly. It doesn't like this just has a one link there, but still much appreciated. Then we have the materials, what you get with the number, the name, and a picture. I appreciate that. That's awesome. It's good to see that. We have one of the benefits of it being so big, though again, there are quite large margins, right, that you're not really using up, is the images are huge, right? And so you're able to really get big text and stuff too. I know some of you old guys out there, you have a dimly lit game room, you're a little bit more in the years, can't quite read it. Well, you can read this. This is big enough. I love it. No, hey, just realistic. I mean, sometimes it gets such small font as it can be hard to read, especially if you're not right in front of it. Rulebook, not necessarily needed, but on like cards and stuff, when they're farther away, you got to like pick them up to read them all and stuff. Loving the arrows, the magnifying to show you kind of everything there, a lot of numbered and stuff like that. We have different like tips and call out boxes and little blurbs and stuff. So it looks like it's really well laid out in that sense. Now, what I'm curious about is an index. You guys know I'm curious about the index. And we have a glossary, which is not an index. Let's keep checking though. Maybe they have both. Maybe they have both. Oh no, no index. Okay, so let's talk about why an index is great. So this is a technical document. This is a document that defines the rules of a gameplay in a very strict way. It's not just there to teach you. In fact, sometimes those are very different things. Teaching and looking up rules can be very different. If you are wondering about that, look up the rules, the actual listed rules for Magic the Gathering versus a how to play of Magic the Gathering. And you'll see the difference between learning how to play and documenting rules. These rulebooks often are doing both. So they're a little bit more verbose, because they're teaching you how to play, not just the rules within the play. That's fine. That being said, this is still a reference document. I need to go back and find information, and if I need to find about enemy forms, or if I need to find out about something that's listed, here with the Tempest Blitz, for instance, maybe, then I need more than just the definition. Let's see if there is a table of contents. So table of contents, there is right here. follow these headers, right? Which is fine, except sometimes like attacking might be listed in damage. It might be listed in the action phase. It might be listed on the enemy card breakdown. I don't know. Either way, the point is that an attack or the word adjacent or something like that might reference multiple things. And that's where an index comes in handy. An index is alphabetical, and it lists every page something is listed on. Now, this glossary is also alphabetical. It does not list the pages. So where MP is listed, I don't know in here, or where movement is. A glossary can be used as a quick lookup. Let me know what you think. I have never once had after I read rulebooks page to page, right, cover to cover, like the entire thing. I'll read this entire rulebook before ever playing this game. And when I do, and I have a question, I've read everything, and I have a pretty good memory on a lot. So I don't need a high-level overview. If I have a question, it's a very specific question. It's a very specific use case that often is in the intricacy of the rule, not just what does it mean to have HP. So seeing that HP is health points and that it's a red cube on the character track, typically it's not going to answer my question. If I have a question about HP, I need to read where HP is actually talked about, where it says, oh, do you actually go to 0, or once you reach and then you lose, or do you sometimes they'll have a 0 to like 10, let's say, right? And am I dead the moment I reach 0, or am I dead after it goes off 0, right? That kind of question can come up. A glossary is never going to answer that. I've never once had my answer answered, or my question answered in a glossary, because I already know the game enough to have the high level. So this needed an index. Everything else about this is good. Again, I wish the size was a little bit less. I wish there was an index, but otherwise, I think this looks like it teaches the game really well. Okay, we have some standees and some tokens. I'll punch out the tokens. I'll show you the standees, but we have acrylic standees that look really good. But as you can see, the art already really, really fun. So when it comes to the card stock here, it's average squishiness, I would say. It is a linen finish, and it's not very shiny. I have a lot of light pumping on this. And it honestly looks shinier in the camera than I'm seeing in real life. I'm looking from one to the other, and this does not reflect light a whole lot for me. So very good about that, especially with the white. Sometimes linen finishes can be really, really like shiny. Again, fairly squishy, but I would say probably about average. It's not like, super duper the best ever, but it's also not bad at all. It's a normal token that we can be used to. Again, the linen finish is nice. The color is great. It looks like it's centered quite well on the star. I'm not seeing any kind of off-centeredness here. If we look out, it is two-sided. That's good to know. And I'm not seeing a lot of flaking or peel or anything like that. So there's a soft edge where it pushes down and the hard edge on the bottom. And it looks like it'll have wear and tear quite nice. And the tags are not very noticeable. Punches out totally fine. So overall, I'd put this above average based off of the fact that it's not flaking or peeling and the fact that you can push it through, plus the linen finish, above average. Definitely, this is nice. Okay, let's get this big guy out here. Again, punches out super easy. Front and back, both of them are linen finish there. Again, a little bit of shine, but not too bad. As you can see, the art, though, pixelated, amazing art. Love it. They know exactly what they're doing here. Let's get a person. I'm trying to pick some like interesting shapes. Let's get that guy there. And let's take a look at what we got here. Maybe I'll pick another one here. Let's do one of the, like this fat guy here. There we go. Okay. We got that in. This guy's flying. Let's do a flyer too. Why not? Okay. So just punching those out just to check. And again, the cut looks super clean. I'm getting more impressed by this as I punch it more. Like this, I don't even see a tag on this. I'm not putting this well above average. Again, a little bit of squishy. I tend to like them a bit more compressed than this. But I mean, it's not bad. I've just had firmer, but it's not, I see a little bit of like dust on me, but this isn't peeling at all. It amazes me that these indie guys can produce stuff way better than the big names. When it comes to the quality of stuff you get, more often than not, the little indies outperform the quality that I see on these big name companies time after time. Really impressed by that. All right. Oh, look at that. Again, just falling right out. So it's got a back purple. Are they all purple? They are all purple on the back. In the front they have this. They have a whole bunch of these. There is quite the tag that was holding this one. The bottom tag is definitely the main one there. but these are coming out just fine. I'm going to go ahead and, thank you, Trash Man, try and punch some out backwards just to see. Certainly harder to get through, but I don't see any peeling, any tearing, anything like that. Again, linen on front and back looks good. All right, so there is, oh, jeez, come on, green. There's that. I'll set these guys aside. Let's go ahead and jump to the board. Oh my gosh, got a storage tray and everything. I'm gonna move this down here, just so it's out of the way as we open up the board. Now, board, not too big. It's two-sided here, so we have this one here, where we have wounds, action, refresh, defense, stamina, fatigue. Everything's labeled here, front, back, and then the rows here. And then the numbers here on the die. And then on the back here, we have the exact same thing, but a different image in the background. So just depends on kind of, I think, what makes sense, or you can just alternate. Either way, the scene here, the image here looks fantastic. Again, I am so impressed by this. This is really nice. Like, really good. I love that you can still see through. This has a lot overlay, but you can still see the image. Now, this is maybe a little unfortunate that the dark red is all the way at the left instead of the right, so it does block a little bit of the middle of the image here. But either way, it looks good, and you can especially still see the image. So it looks like a big arena. That still works out, though. Again, I maybe have moved this over here. Just personal preference there. Otherwise, yep, no, this looks great. This is maybe less viewable outside than this because this has like a fading, whereas this does not have a fading. Again, I'm not exactly sure why, but either way, there's the game board. Trashman wants these, but I'm going to put them on standees first. All right, so they do have a tray here. Looks like a little bit moved around, though I don't think anything too bad there. I don't even know the order. Somehow there's already hair inside of here. That's just always impressive. It's my life. Right from a cat. Who's not supposed to be up here, but whatever. Look at that. We got the neoprene mat right here within the box, and it's rolled, not folded. Love it. Actually, there are multiple neoprene mats. We got some space here. This is all by game trays here, and it fits quite nicely. In fact, I almost kind of wish it didn't, so it's a little bit easier to grab. Looks like I can grab it from there. So, look at that. It even has like the shapes of like the guys you're going to put in here kind of thing, right? Like these are the standees there. And these are little goldfish. But we got a tray here. It is a locking tray and no tape, so I'm happy with that. And another, look at this hair. It's probably the same hair. Trying to keep a clean environment for you guys. All right, so you see the little ridge here and the little ridge here, so that helps lock it in just a little bit. A very soft lock. I've seen harder, but at the same time, it's okay. You're gonna have to kind of pinch it to open it, but otherwise, that's good. Okay, here are some standee holders. Let's go and get these standees here so my daughter can then play with them. We got a large one here, two large ones. It looks like you will be taking these on and off. I don't see enough standees for each one to have standees on them. So, at least I don't think so. So it looks like you will just have one enough to like, unless there's another bag somewhere, to match what it is you're doing in the game, right? Like, in other words, your heroes plus whoever you're fighting. So here's a hero. It does have the little, come up here and show you. It does have the little ridge right here that kind of pinches it, but it doesn't look like these right here are going to pinch anything. So should be fairly okay. Not too damn. Oh, that's a pretty firm grip on there. So let me zoom in a little bit. Looking at a few small things. Okay. Right, so now you can see here how he stands just fine like that. And then when you take it off, there is a little bit of a mark. Let me see if it's not washed out too much. But there is a mark right here and right here. Maybe you can see that, maybe you can't. But it's there, trust me. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. So right here. A little bit of a mark, but not too bad. Put them back on there. And then for the big guys, again, pretty tight, pretty tight. Now that just looks like it may just flex a little bit, but definitely holds. It doesn't pop off or anything. I've had them do that before. So that looks good. We're going to take it off now. Ugh. And that doesn't really leave any mark, so that's actually kind of nice. So no mark on that one. All right. I'll pass those guys around. Let's go look at the neoprene mats. And then we got silica packets galore. We got some in here for the wooden cubes. I'm not going to show those off. Those are pretty standard stuff. That looks like the color saturation is really nice on them. I appreciate that. And then even more in here, because why not? Zoom back out a little bit. Okay. Get these mats open. Maybe. Aha. Easy open. Very nice to get stitched neoprene mats out like this. So here is the game board, but as a neoprene mat. So, Trash Man can have the game board back. There we are. Okay. Do some color change setting here. So, as you can see, the neoprene mat is a little bit more desaturated. That's why I check. Often that is the case. It's very rare that I would not see that. In fact, normal when I do, when I don't see it, it's because they don't use very strong colors on the game board itself. But as you can see, black isn't quite as black, right? The red isn't quite as red. You can see the stitching and all that. So it is definitely a little bit of a lighter look to it, but it's certainly there. It looks like the same size. It pretty much is. It's actually slightly smaller just because of the curved edges, but otherwise it's the same size. So you can kind of see it here. And in fact, yeah, it's about the same. I'm trying to see if it's just as transparent. And I almost want to say it doesn't quite. So if we hold this up here, I'll just do it like this. If we hold this up, to me, it's about the same. Obviously this is darker, right? And a little bit more of a contrast, but the transparency and all that looks the same to me. And then on the back, it's fun, it says back there. Oh, because of the top and back. Okay, and here's the front. Now it is a little curved, so when you first get this, you're gonna have to uncurve it because it was a little tightly wound there. So you'll just have to roll it up the other way. And that'll certainly help. Oh, perfect. Keep your little rubber band and you can actually store it that way. And I'm curious if I did it tight enough to put it back or if it needs to be like tighter for whatever reason. It'd be kind of interesting to see. So let's see, because that may be a little too loose. Aha. Yeah, so see, I think I did a little too loose there. So I'll have to really put it tight. So that's probably the one bummer there, is it does need to be pretty tight, which is probably why it was curved like that, because it just has this spot here to go in. And if you loosely fold it or loosely roll it, then often it's fine. But if not, if it's tight like this, it will kind of keep its shape a little bit. But imagine it sat there long enough to where, and you would just alternate how you roll it up, it should be okay. Or alternatively, you can store your neoprene mat like you would any other neoprene mat, but it is nice that it goes in the box. Oh my gosh, I can't even open this up now. This is like messed up. Type of band is this? I have other bands I can use too, but for now, yeah. See, that just like lets it too loose. There we go. There we go. Shove it in there. All right, perfect. All right, that works. That works. I'm fine with it. Okay, we got some foil cards. Love it. Got some big cards. We got some dice. Got more dice. We got, oh, this is like a big card there. And then we got cards here. And we have cards there. These cards, that's all the storage there. All right. Let's open these up. I'm going to open up all the packages and then get back to you. Okay, back in here. Opened everything up. I'm going to go ahead and look at some of these dice. That's interesting. They both look purple to me, but they're separated. So let's try and take a look at that. All the bags, by the way, have this little hole in them so they don't puff up with air, which is very nice. Only time that's not good is sometimes people ship minis to me like that. And with the minis, you definitely want them to have that little air bubble typically. Okay, this is interesting. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We're just looking at small stuff now anyway. Because these are different. Okay. So obviously the color is slightly different. But another thing that's different is these are mostly squared edge. Whereas these are like the Chiswick style, kind of like super, not super rounded, but more rounded. I actually like that they're not super rounded. So the more rounded it is, the more it'll roll. If you go to a casino, you're never going to see dice like this. You won't even see dice like this. They will be perfectly straight. And the reason is because the rounding will never be accurate, right? In fact, even the perfectly straight are not perfect. You can always get more and more perfect the more you measure, right? But the idea is each side has an equal chance. So the marble already changes that slightly, but they'll just slightly, depending on the marble and the stuff used there. Typically, it's the same plastic just swirled, so it's not too much different, except for like a difference in color. But when you roll it, it won't roll as much. Whereas these will roll a bit more because they're rounded, and that rolling provides imperfection. People like these more because they roll a lot more, so they're a lot more satisfying to roll, right? Because they do really roll, whereas these kind of plop around a little bit more, but they are inherently not balanced, and in fact, pretty much never will be. The best way to balance them is to get ones like this. So, and like Warhammer, for instance, I purposely try to get ones like this. First of all, I don't want dice flying around everywhere, and second of all, I want them a little bit more accurate. If you ever are like playing a competitive game and somebody brings their own dice and they're super rounded like that, they might actually, there's a reason why you feel some dice are good and some aren't. Often that's the reason why. It is actually imperfect. It's not just you noticing that. All right, let's look at the fill-in here. So this is kind of interesting because it looks like it's not even. It's because it's not, but it's purposely not. So the white really shows up here. I do appreciate that. I'm fine with the pips and then the one special. I'm okay with that. That looks cool. The coloration is a nice kind of shiny metallic purple. So I really like those. And this one is much more swirled, as you can see. Again, looks super fun. There is no special one on that, though. These are just kind of fun dice to have. But very, very cool swirl on these. I do really like these. Overall, dice look good. Okay, next up, we have some cards. Let's go and take a look at these. I think some of these are a little boring in the sense that they're just, words and cards you're actually using. So I'm going to zoom out slightly, just because these are a little bit larger cards. There you go. As you can see, they are linen finish. There is a little bit of a shine to them. You are seeing a lot more, I think, on the camera than I am seeing in person. Like, to you, that looks blinding, at least in the camera does to me. And I can't really get it blinding to me personally. So I do have a lot of light pumping on this right now as well. You would never normally play with this much lighting. It gets a little warm, actually. These are really easy to read. I do appreciate that. There's the symbol there as well. Again, all the text is easy. It does have that little kind of light fade, so the farther out to the right you get, the darker it is. They do change the text from black to white, depending on if it's a dark background or light background. I appreciate that as well. It has a little bit of a blurb here and a number, so you can easily, see if you have all the cards and stuff. And it adds a little bit of lore to it, or a little bit of theme to it. I very much appreciate that. And I appreciate that it's not taking up a whole lot of room to do it. On this, I think this is a little bit less noticeable than this symbol. Just the contrast isn't quite there as much, but I'm nitpicking at that. Otherwise, it looks good. Looks very easy to read. I appreciate that. A fair amount of symbols. They are bolding and all capsing keywords, so they stand out. So I know line and attack, because otherwise, if it's just after another character in your line rolls a blank, you might just read through that. But bolding and a capitalizing line really makes it to where you're not going to make as many mistakes. Very nice to see. Overall, I'm actually pretty impressed here. It looks like there is a little symbol here as well. I'm assuming that's like a set thing, whereas this is more of like a subgroup thing. So it's nice to see that. And they look like there's a lot of different kinds. I'm not seeing any repeats per se, at least in the name. We've got health potions. We got high health potions. We got recovery serum. Super Recovery Serum. I like that the symbol up here for the items is in fact at least there, so it's a little unique there. Empowering Drought, Ghost Necker, Threshold Breaker, and Crystal Elixir. Otherwise, these look quite nice. Thickness-wise, they're a little bit better than like a retail board game card-wise, but they're not necessarily quite Magic the Gathering either, I would say. A little bit thinner than that, a little bit thicker than maybe your average. In the back, it does have a symbol based off of what it is you're doing, so that works as well. These actually turned out quite nice. Okay, next up we got some more here, so just kind of the same style of thing. Unless these are based off of your job or your class or whatever, and you get all of these. And then I think these are something everybody might get. Again, if you've played the game, let me know. But that's what it looks like to me. Perhaps, but perhaps not. It looks like they split the deck evenly, so technically like these would probably go here with these, right? Like normal. So just that when they split the decks, often the manufacturer has to kind of arbitrarily do it based off number to help with print runs, stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, these are pretty nice. These have a bit more shine on them. There is a little bit of a linen finish, but these are shinier. So I'm seeing that shine just like it is in the camera pretty much. I guess I can't quite blind it. So again, it's a little bit more in camera, but it is a little bit more shinier for sure. Typically, though, depending on your sleeves, if you sleeve them, those can be pretty shiny too. So let's see, item-wise, Living Blade, Computation Armor. Again, you do have a little bit of a blurb here, and again, still some lore on the bottom. I appreciate all the lore in here. Golem Heart, Harvesting Hammer, Mask of Fear, Mask of Happiness, Mask of Anger, Shattered Lantern. I'm not seeing any Ashleaf Cloak, Crystal Egg. So far, no repeats. Barbestel Armor. It says here, found in the belly of a slay terror, it implies the beast was once a warrior. So you can actually even see some lore there and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. It looks like all unique items with unique art to it, which is awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's cool. There's a lot here. And it looks like some of them are based off class, and some of them are unique specific people. And again, I don't know if you get that as your starting equipment or what, but either way, that's pretty cool. Now this is nice. We got some full art here. Looks like it's all unique, but all kind of purplish and blues. Don't know exactly what these are, but they're kind of almost like little locations by the looks of it, which is neat with all special rules on it. Love the art. Love the common coloration of that too. Yeah, it looks like it's probably a location. Very cool. Okay, we got some small cards here. Looks like this might be, oh yeah. So these are, oh wow, that's, I like the symbol on that one. It really stands out, that green. So it is kind of mixed. They do this a lot in print runs too. I'm not exactly sure why. I've actually not gotten that answer yet. So if you know why, I would love to hear. Why would a manufacturer do like, oh, threes and then like three of each color repeated kind of thing, right? I think there's more than three here, but you know what I'm saying. Symbols on both sides. On this one, this is like a status effect: weaken, freeze, and paralyze. Burn, freeze, weaken. Daze, burn, confuse, shadow. So either way, some playing cards there, pretty small. And then we have some more here. The Master's Whispers, Mother of Millions. So these are all named. I don't think the other ones were. Spirit Leech. So no lore on this. A lot of symbols. Some text. Looks like maybe 50-50 on that. On the back, again, symbols here too. See, so that's what I'm talking about, symbols there. So you have symbols there. Oh, will this be a 3? It is, but then it shows a skull. I don't see the skull on the other one. And then again, I don't know, is this an enemy? That looks of us. Looks like the enemy moves there, perhaps. Kind of interesting. Again, love the art. Yeah, it looks like these are some of their spells and abilities and stuff. Very cool. Okay. I'm gonna do the foil cards at the end. There's 2 sets. Okay, so it looks like we got enemies here. So here's the Guardian. And then you have this version of the Guardian. I don't know which ones. It looks like this one has higher numbers, but less 1 versus 2. I'm not exactly sure there. The Harvester changes. Oh, yeah, no, they do change. So see that symbol? See, like it's a different art. Here's the Harvester there versus the Harvester here. So that's kind of cool to see. Here's the Eater of Children. Or the Eater of Children, but again, looks different. It's kind of interesting. The Winged Terror. Maybe that's where you get your that armor from. You have to read the lore and find out, I guess. So we have the Spectre. Again, loving the art, the design. All this looks great. The First Chosen versus First Chosen there. The Shattered God. So it looks like there's like a level up version. We have this. Now, what's interesting here is that this is different art. In fact, it's different styles of art. Again, I don't know if it's AI or what, but everything is pixelated except for these. Kind of interesting. So here's the Monk. And the Arithmogen. And again, this almost looks like a CG. Like he came from like World of Warcraft or something. Looks like an orc from World of Warcraft. The Aeromancer. The Ronin. And there's different art styles. The Siren. The Seer. The Slayer. And then the Lancer. And that's the one you see on the cover there. And again, not as shiny in person, but still fairly shiny card-wise. Finally, you do have 4 reference cards, front and back. I like this more than the giant rule book, so I'll probably be trying to just have that and not have the rule book on the board. And that leaves us to foil cards. So these are unlocked. So here's the Crystal Elixir foil. You can see it is a full foil, but it's got the shiny foil kind of everywhere, but then right here, the little crystal part here does shine differently. Maybe you can see that. So it like changes colors and stuff like that. So it does have kind of a 2-layer thing there. And in fact, I'm not sure. I think it's just this. So it's very cool. So it has a little bit of a shine because of the, yeah, you can see kind of like that more. There you go. Because of the linen. But this outward part is foiled, and then this is a special foil. And there, you can see it better there. So that's cool. And it's not like that at all in the back. Now here, we have the Soulfire Blade. Same thing here, where there's a little bit of foil, a little bit of shine. Very cool. Very minimal. Very minimal in those two. Now we have these here. Now these are the people we just saw. So here is the... It's interesting how it's very minimal... So, well, I guess so. Where it's white, like here and here, really shines. Otherwise, it is kind of cool that this doesn't as well. So here's kind of the base. That one's cool. That one looks nice. Of all the color. That one's nice too because of all the lines there. I think that looks neat. And then you have the front side, which again, like on the bandaging here and on the lines here, has a different foil. Same with like the electric parts there, right? Same with the blade there. Her stuff there. A little of the electricity pops out. Yeah, very cool. Love it. Love foil cards. These are nice and straight too. So, and maybe because it's a type. All right, so all that leaves now is this expansion here. Now, they packaged this with what looks like newspaper or something. Not sure what's going on there, but that's kind of fun. You would like your Tivix tags. There you are. I always like these when they're in other languages. So let's see, you can order some opaque stretch wrap. Yeah, sure, why not? And then we got the acrylic tokens and the standees for the acrylics all in here. Perfect, and there's a lot. Ah, awesome. All right, let's look at the tokens first. Don't need a whole lot of tokens in this game, so that's kind of cool. It's not very token heavy, mostly card heavy. Okay, so yeah, these are neat. So essentially, it's a sticker, right? There's the sticker, and I will say on this one, it is not centered. All right, so happens to be the first one I grab, but there's a lot more space here than on this side. And then there's your flip, and then it's just acrylic over top of it. So it looks kind of like that. They're very nice and thick. I like that. But let's see if all the others are more centered. This one's more centered. This one's more, yeah, a lot of them are a lot more centered. I think it's just that one. I just happened to grab a bad one. Otherwise, again, you get either it on the top. Whoop. I like it. I think it looks better like that with acrylic over top of it. It almost would have been nice to have it in the middle and have half of wood on either side. But either way, it still works. They're still cool. I like them. They feel nice, that's for sure. They have a little bit of a texture to the outside, so it's not like super smooth or anything like that. It's been until it's been cut. There's the tokens. I gotta get some standees out. This is a very fancy like Ziploc bag. Like it's like robust. I'm actually kind of impressed. Like that is, I don't know if I've ever had a Ziploc. Did you see that? That's fancy. All right, so again, I don't know if you have to take all these out or not, but I'm going to. We got a few different sizes. It looks like you got to punch out the middle part of it, so you get a whole bunch of these that you're going to throw away. Here's the two different sizes here. So let's go ahead and open them up. I'm excited. I'm excited. Because these look super cool. I need a whole bunch here, guys. Oh my gosh. Look how big that guy is. It's awesome. I think I'm gonna have to. So I might just cut it when I have to. Don't hurt me. There you go. Okay. Look at some of the big ones first, huh? Like here's this bad guy. Look at that. Huge. Love it. So again, same kind of style where it's like on the back. And this is like the actual printing. You can almost kind of see that, right? And then you see it through on this. And it does make it look a little different. A little different. I feel like this is a little bit smoother than this. And I don't know if it's acrylic, if it's just my eyes, if it's the texture of it. I think it might be the texture because there is a little bit of a texture here. Like you can feel it. Looks cool though. Looks awesome. So it goes in. It would go in just like maybe not. There. Oh, that is a snap. Love that. So there he is as a standee. Very cool. It looks awesome. All right. Let's look. And I want to look at the main. What do they call them? The one on the album art, on the album art, the art on the box. I think these are all the like leveled up versions of them. So I think it was this one is what he turns into. So again, really snaps in there well. It comes out fine though too. So it's just really exact. So again, here's how they look. I do like how they're kind of like this guy's very purple, kind of color coordinated, right? Another look here. So definitely a black and green kind of look there. Again, I think it looks great. Those are a lot of fun. I like that it's clear. You just have so many. I'm not going to put another one in a base, but as you can see, the color is really strong in them, which I really appreciate. Like these look really, really cool. I could see people using this just for D&D, kind of RPG kind of stuff. Again, the color, fantastic. Really, really cool. Like, really, really impressive there. I could see my daughter playing with these a lot. Oh, here's the guy I was talking about. There he is. Oh, that's the first one that was maybe... I mean, it's not loose, but it does come out a little bit easier. Kind of interesting. Here he is. So again, if you're looking at like size, right? Well, let's take this guy. Like when we have all these boss battlers with minis, this is the kind of the size difference you want, right? That looks frightening, right? That's a big difference there. You could like fit in his mouth. That's awesome. Okay, well, as you can see, there's a ton here. I'm not going to go over them all. They look great. You saw the art already on them. Just really good splashes of color. Like, look, oh, see, it looks so good. Looks so good. Yeah, these are fantastic. Really, really well done. Not too big, but still big enough. It could maybe be a little bit tighter on the amount of space outside, but not by much, to be honest. The cuts seem good. I am seeing like, that's where it was. Oh, you know what? Interesting. You almost only see that from that side. And see little lines on the very edge here, but then on this I don't see them at all. Kind of interesting. Looks great. Really, I'm impressed. So, yeah, indies, showing them up. A lot of cool guys here. I will link down to anything below that's relevant. If they have a a channel that shows off the game, or if they have another campaign preview, if they have a web store. So feel free to check that out down in the description below. And thank you for watching, of course. Stay tuned for more. I might share my thoughts on this game. I'll be showing other unboxings just like this, covering campaigns that are currently live, all that stuff. So if you haven't subscribed, be sure to, especially because the algorithm isn't always kind. And so that helps you see all of my videos. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye, guys.